You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans. Today, we want to talk about 5 actors that exited GH that caused a lot of anxiety and outrage among the fandom. And we're going to tell you why these actors really left the ABC soap. Now, some of these are pretty recent. One reaches back a little bit, but they were all very dramatic and hit the fandom hard. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. Click that subscribe. Let's get into it. This is one of the more recent exits. We're going to talk about Marcus Coloma's exit as Nikolas Cassadine. So after Tyler Christopher was terminated at GH because of some of his addiction issues that he later fully admitted to, that he said he cost himself that job, and the soap was looking for a replacement. So they found Marcus Coloma and brought him in as Nikolas Cassadine. And of course, a lot of people really miss Tyler, but Marcus was able to really win over the fandom. He inked a 3-year deal with GH. He first aired in October of 2019, and he really stepped, I thought, seamlessly into the role. I thought he did a really good job. And of course, I love Tyler, but Marcus did a good job. And then just past the 3-year mark, his last air date was January 2023. And everybody was wondering what happened because Marcus's exit as Nikolas seemed to come out of nowhere. He announced the exit, and there was just a lot of rumors and a lot of controversy around why it was so abrupt. So we're going to talk about what happened. Well, the first thing was he had inked a 3-year deal as Nikolas, and that had just ended. And then his rep said that Marcus had health issues from a recent COVID exposure that was back at that time. And then Adam Huss wound up stepping into the role to wrap Nikolas's run. And that had everybody really wondering why he left, because Marcus Coloma didn't even finish taping his final scenes as Nikolas. So there was some gossip that Marcus had been upset that his contract wasn't renewed, and there was scuttlebutt that he actually refused to film his final scenes as Nikolas. However, Marcus's rep strongly denies that's the way it happened. Clearly, something did happen, but the exact reason Marcus exited remains a mystery. And we do know that his contract wasn't renewed, and I don't think he was that happy about it. Adam Huss continues to sub in as Nikolas on an as-needed basis. We're going to reach back a few years now and look at why Anthony Geary left General Hospital as the iconic Luke Spencer. This was such a big exit. We got to talk about it. So he'd been an icon since the 80s. You know, Luke and Laura's 1981 wedding was one of the most watched TV moments of all time. Over the years, Tony had 17 daytime Emmy nominations and 8 wins. So why leave General Hospital? Well, in fact, he had stepped away from playing Luke several times over the years. He left in 1984 and stayed gone for several years. He returned in 1991, but said he was tired of playing Luke. And for a while, they had Geary playing his doppelganger cousin, Bill Eckert, but fans didn't like Bill. They wanted Luke. So GH killed off Bill Eckert, and Tony Geary was back to playing Luke in 1993. Then they did that DID thing, the dissociative identity disorder, where his character went dark and was doing all these devious things. Fans really hated that. They started calling him Fluke, aka Fake Luke. And then Tony Geary left for good when his contract expired in mid-2015. The Luke actor said he was weary of the grind and had been tired of it for 20 years. He also had some things to say about then head writer Ron Carlivati. Although he never said it by name, he just referred to him as the writer and basically said that they didn't like each other and, you know, he was not happy about the writer. So Tony also said he didn't want to collapse and die on the GH set and that be the end of his life. So he walked away from the role of Luke. He moved to Amsterdam, where he lives still now with his husband, Claudio Gama. Tony's last air date was in July 2015. But then he reprised the role of Luke Spencer one last time in May 2017 for Jane Elliott's last episode is Tracy Quartermain. She said she was retiring, although since then she's unretired and came back to stay. But Tony came back to honor Jane's exit, but he did not speak even one single line of dialogue as Luke. And then the GH writers ultimately killed off the character off screen in a gondolier accident set up by Victor Cassadine. So in the end, Tony Geary was just tired of playing the same character for so long, and he wanted to do something else with his life, and that's what he has gone and done. Let's talk about a more recent exit that had fans absolutely on fire, and they are still wanting GH to reverse it. That is Kelly Monaco as Sam McCall. General Hospital stunned fans when they ended Kelly Monaco's run as Sam McCall with her death in late October 2024. And originally, the character death seemed to be complications from her surgery to donate part of her liver to save Lulu Spencer's life. But then, more than a month later, we got Kelly Monaco's actual last air date of General Hospital in early December 2024 during a flashback when it was finally confirmed that Sam was murdered by Cyrus Renaud. We had actually leaked that it was him that killed Sam even before her character death, before anybody else knew it. We leaked that pretty early on. So for more than 20 years, Kelly Monaco had been a huge fan favorite as Sam. So why did she leave? Well, it wasn't Kelly Monaco's choice to leave. She posted, but then later deleted a comment saying that since Billy Miller was fired, her storyline was stripped. She posted that in response to some people saying that she was offered a low pay rate that she wouldn't accept. And she came back and said, no, that's not the case at all. And basically said they had dismantled the character that she had worked so hard to develop. And Kelly said it was retaliation at its finest and promised to release more tea about why she was fired. And then she never did go into any more about why GH fired her or Sam. I don't know if they hit her with an NDA, something like that. I don't know. Kelly's mom had some things to say about the firing, as did Billy Miller's mom, who said she thought the powers that be at GH are stupid and evil. Fans were outraged. They launched a campaign, including a New York Times billboard, trucks with her picture on it driving by the ABC studio lot, demanding GH producers undo Kelly's firing and save Sam. Clearly, that didn't pan out. So maybe the producers will change their mind, though. But for now, it's a no. Speaking of Davis girls, let's talk about Lexi Ainsworth's exit as Kristina Corinthos. This was another exit and recast that has not set well with fans, and Lexi Ainsworth has been replaced as Kristina Corinthos in a recast that's still rubbing people the wrong way. Fans got to know Lexi from the age of 16 when she was cast as the then teenage daughter of Sonny Corinthos and lady lawyer Alexis Davis. Lexi did over 500 episodes on General Hospital. She was great in the role. No doubt she could have kept playing Kristina indefinitely, but now we have Kate Mansi in the role, a recast that many fans remain salty about. So why did Lexi Ainsworth exit? Again, this was another case where I don't think it was really up to her. So her last episode as Kristina was late April 2023, and about a month later, in May 2023, Kate Mansi debuted as recast Kristina Corinthos-Davis. Lexi has been very nice about it, saying it was a mutually beneficial decision. However, many fans maintain that she was abruptly fired. And part of that is because the Kristina actress said she'd been really looking forward to an upcoming storyline, and it sounded like she was planning to play it and wasn't planning to go, you know? And Lexi said the upcoming storyline was actually inspired by a personal experience of hers. and that she didn't get to play it. Some other sources hinted she was blindsided by the recast of Kristina, and there's chatter that basically GH got the chance to hire Kate Mansi, who is a talented actress, and they jumped at it, abruptly cutting a longtime actress that was a fan favorite to make way for what they wanted. But Lexi Ainsworth took the high road and didn't confirm any of that chatter. The last person we're going to talk about is the exit of legacy Offspring character Lucky Spencer, played by Jonathan Jackson. So this is somebody who's been recast over the years a couple of times, but always came back to the role of Lucky. Jonathan Jackson debuted on GH as Lucky when he was just 11. And John Jackson played the role from 1993 to 1999 when they wrote Lucky out for storyline reasons. The next year, in 2000, they were bringing the character back, but John Jackson was busy with other projects. So they recast first with Jacob Young and then with Greg Vaughn. And then when John Jackson came available in 2009, the chatter was that they asked Greg Vaughn to make way for him to return as Lucky. He stayed through 2011, but then walked away saying the material just got way too heavy and he was kind of burned out. He came back a couple of times in the interim, but those were just drop-ins. John Jackson's run back then was absolutely amazing. He won Best Younger Actor Emmys 3 times. He had 2 more wins in the supporting actor category. And then, after years of absence, fans were absolutely stunned when John Jackson came back as Lucky in summer of 2024. And that was supposed to be for a nice long stay, but it only lasted 9 months before he said it became impractical to continue as Lucky. And that's because John Jackson and his family live in Tennessee, and he was dividing his time between there and LA to tape GH, and he just couldn't keep doing it. So this last time that John Jackson left as Lucky, he said it was because the experiment to cross-country commute failed, and he just couldn't keep it going.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.